All right, now let's get started. So the first thing we need to have installed Flutter in our operating system. Whether you're on Mac or you're in Windows, you need to have installed Flutter in your system. And then also Android Studio, because Android Studio is required if you want to use Android emulators. And then also your favorite IDE if you're going to code on Android Studio or if you're going to code on VS Code. I'm going to use VS Code for this course, but I would also code in Android Studio, but I just prefer VS Code. Okay, so now let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to create a new application. Okay, so I'm just gonna go here and then command palette. Here I'm just gonna click on new project Flutter. If you don't see this, you can just search for a new project and then it's going to come up with Flutter. So I'm gonna click on this one and then I'll click on the default application, and then here I'm selecting where that project is going to be saved. So I want to save it under this folder. So I'm just gonna click create. Now here I need to give it a project name. So this one, since the other one that I've created already is named Worrior, so let me change this a bit so that I don't confuse the two. Okay, so I'm just gonna name this Worrior X. Okay, I've just put an X here so that I can differentiate between the two. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm just gonna click enter. All right, our default Flutter application is created. We can close that, and then I'm gonna bring up my emulator. So this is the test app that we've already created. Now we just want to run this new one. Okay, so we just need to click here and then run the application. I'm still going to select this Pixel 6, so it's right here. I'm gonna run it. Okay, so while this is running, I'm going to show you guys, if you already don't know how to run your Android emulator, all you have to do is you need to open up your Android Studio. So here's my Android Studio open with the application that is already created. Just open any application in Android Studio. Then all you have to do is to click on here on the on this device manager. Okay, you can even search it from the menu here. Okay, so now once you click on the device manager, so this Android Studio, I'm on the latest version right now. Today is 27/04/2024. Okay, so all you have to do is here, as you can see, I've got 3 emulators already created. So to create a new one, you just click on the plus sign here. Okay, so once you click here, it's going to take you to this screen. Here you need to select a phone that you want to create an emulator for. Okay, so for example, if I click the Pixel 8, I just need to click next, and then from here you need to pick an operating system. Okay, so if you haven't downloaded, you just need to click on this download sign of the operating system that you want, and then it gets downloaded. For me, I only downloaded this one. So if I pick it, I'm just gonna click next, and then from here you can give it a name, and then you can also go on show advanced setting here. You can change the settings here. Just you can change the data, the storage. If you want it to be more than 2 gigs, you can change. After you change whatever you want here, I just prefer here you can use automatic or graphic here, depends on your system. Okay, and then after this you just need to click finish, and then the emulator will show up here. But I'm not going to create one because I already have enough emulators. Okay, now I'm just gonna close that, and then also minimize that, and then minimize Android Studio. Then now if you get back to application, you can see that the application has ran. And close that, and then open up the emulator. So this is the test app that we have created. Okay, now let's start creating our application right away. So the first thing to do here is let's delete everything here, all the comments. We can also delete this widget here. All of this, let's remove. Now we are remaining only with this. Now here, let's go on the lib, right click, and then create a new folder. Let's call this as main screens, or we can call it as screens, okay? Now inside this folder, let's right click again, new file. Let's call this as a game screen. .dat. Now here, let's create a stateful widget. So this is going to be our game screen. Okay, now here, let's return a scaffold. So yeah, let's just click tab because we are using an assistant. It's going to fill up all of that, okay, like that. So one other thing, I'm using Copilot as an assistant. You guys can, you know that these days, most of us, we are coding using assistant. It's just going to be a waste of time if you don't have any assistant. All of these auto completion, the AI can assist you to write code faster. Okay, as you can see, I've created just a game screen, and all of this has been done by the AI. I'll just need to implement what I need to do. Okay, great. So just make sure you have an assistant. There are many assistants. This one, Copilot, is a paid, but there is a lot of free coding assistants that you can install. Okay. So now let's continue. Now back in the main.dat here, I'm going to remove this. Then I'm going to call my game screen. Okay. Now that I've done that, I can hot reload. You can see that now it's calling my game screen. Okay. Which is this screen over here. Right. First, let's remove this debug banner. Okay. So here, down here, we can say debug. Add more banner to false. Let's hot reload. Now what we want to create is something like this. Okay, so let's start from above and then we come all the way down here. Okay, so let's go this one. We go to our game screen, and then here we have a scaffold. So here in the scaffold, as a title, we know we have a Seco avatar. So this one, you can see that our assistant is already predicting what we want, but we don't want it to be like that. So this background, let's just say, let's give it a color that we can see it, something like that. And then let's have a radius of 20. Let's hot reload. Yeah, something like that. We can put data later on there. So yeah, here let's just put it as a constant keyword, and then let's remove the constant from this text. And then inside here, this up bar, we also need some actions. Okay, so let's have actions. So in the actions here, what we want to do is we want to create what is there. So right now the coding assistant thinks that we want the settings. If we click tab, we're going to have a settings icon like that. But here we want to have the leaderboard icon, which is that. So you can see that we're almost like that. Next is this. Okay. So now here on this center, what we want to do is first let's wrap this in a safe area. And then next what we want to do is we also need to add a padding here. Okay, so this column, let's wrap it with a padding. First of all, let's remove this center widget, and then let's wrap this with a padding widget. And then so to remove all this, what you're seeing, we need to put constant keyword on top here. We're going to remove it later on. Then we can remove this constant here. And then here we also need to remove this constant. So what we want to do is to put that word, which is this. So this, we use the widget which is called animated text kit. Okay, so that's what we are going to use here. So let's come back, and then we want to use it here. Okay, and then after this one, so this floating action button we don't need. Okay, so after this animated UI kit, we want to put the text field down here. Okay, so first let's start by putting the animated text kit here. All right, so for this we need a package. So for that, let's minimize, and then here let's search for animated text kit, animated text. Let's click enter. We can minimize that, and then we want to use this package, and then this is the package that we are going to use. It's got the text which is animating. So let's go to installation. Let's copy that, and then we go back to our application. Let's go to pubs.yml file. And then here after the cappuccino icon, let's paste that, and then we need to save, which is a Control S. Let's wait for it to save. Then we can close this, and then here what we need to do is let's create that animated text kit. Animated, it's called animated text kit, like that. Okay, so this one, let's see, it's imported up here. So here we need this text. Okay, let's call our colorized text. So we need to put this in the list like that, but instead of this, type animated text. First of all, let's remove this constant from here. Okay, and then we can put the constant here, and then this type animated text is going to be our word warrior. Okay, but we don't want to use this type animation. So this is the type of animation. Okay, so if we go to the package, if we go on the readme, so there is this type. So this one is called what? So this is a rotating animation. Okay, and then there's fading, and then there's type animation text. Okay, so this is what our assistant has put here, the type animation. But as you can see in here, we have used this one like this. Okay, so this is also entirely up to you guys. You can pick the animation that you want. Okay, so here in my case, instead of the typer, I'm going to use the color. It's called colorize. Okay, like this. Colorize animated text. Okay, what's going on? So this requires a style. Okay, so it's going to have a word, which is that, and then the speed, and then after the speed, this also requires colors. Okay, now in the colors here, we need to put the colors. Okay, and then we also need to put the text style. So first, let's remove the speed. Maybe we can just let it use the default. So the text style, we're going to put it like that. Okay, and then let's put the colors. So the colors, let's create another class just here in the lib. Let's right click and then create the constants class. Okay, constants dot. So this is going to be class constants, like that. So here, that's where we're going to put the constants to our application. Okay, so let's start by creating the colors. Okay, so here let's go our static const color. Let's name it at colorize colors. Okay, colorized colors. Colorized colors. This is going to be the list of colors. Okay, but let's not call them like this. So here, let's just call our colors dot. Let's start with maybe purple. So we need to import the material package, and then colors. Let's see if our assistant will access. Okay, yeah, we need blue, and then we need yellow. We're going to need red, and then what else? Maybe let's also have green. Okay, colors dot green. Okay, so this is going to be our colors, and then next, let's also create the colorized text style. Okay, static. Okay, this one is just the same with that, so let's remove that. It's just making things here. Okay, final colorized text style. Okay, so here the text style is going to be that, but maybe let's use the Google font so that we have a variety of text style. Okay, so for that also, let's go to pub.dev. Then we can minimize that or just move it aside. We can use Google fonts. Okay, now let's pick this one. Then let's just quickly go on installation. We can copy that and then come back to our application, and then just after this, let's paste that. Then once again, let's save. We just need to wait for it to finish. All right, that is done. We need to close that. Can close that and then come here in the constant. So here, instead of that, we can use our Google fonts. Now Google fonts, let's use the font SCME, which is the exact font that I used in this other application. Okay, now here on the font size, let's maybe reduce it to 30. So now we have the colors and the text style. Now we can come back here. Here, instead of text style calling this, we can call our constants dot colorized style, and then colors we can also call our constants dot colorized colors, and then that's it. Now we can hot reload. Then we're going to have the word like that. Okay, so looks like we have an error. Maybe it's because we installed packages. We need to start our application from the beginning. Okay, let's just let it start again, and then we'll see if we're going to have errors. All right, the application has started. You can see that now we have that, which is working just fine. Okay, now the only thing is that we are not having it in the center. Okay, so now here, right after this one, we want to have so this animated text kit. Right after this animated text kit here, we want to have the button. So first, let's put a size box, which is a height of 20, and then next we want to have a button which says start. Okay, great. We're going to move this to the center, just not yet. Let's continue first. So here, let's have a container. So looks like our assistant is helping us here. Let's click tab and then see what it has come up with. Let's hot reload. So it's got that text, which is not what we want. So here it's just going to explain about the game, but it's just thinking that's what we want to make. You can see how AI is just predicting everything. Okay, so let's go on ahead and create our container here. So maybe instead of even a container, let's change this to an elevated button. Okay, elevated button. So on pressed, we're going to put what we're going to put later on, and then on the child here, we want to put the text which says start game, and then let's close it out like that. So here we need to put a constant keyword. Now let's hot reload, and then we have a start game like that. Okay, so great. Now the next thing to do is just to move this on the center here. But before that, what we want to do is to wrap this let's put this in a column. Let's wrap this in a column. Let's wrap this in another column. Where is the column? And then the second child is going to be this one. Let's cut it. So we have this child, which is an animated text kit, and then the second child is going to be that. And then this column, we want to wrap inside the expanded widget. Okay, expanded widget. Now after this expanded widget, we want to have a text field. So here we can just say text field, and then our assistant is just going to create that. So let's see, let's put a constant keyword, because we know all of this is going to change. Okay, now if we bring up that and then hot reload, we are going to have something like that. Okay, so this is a text field that we are going to use to enter everything here. Okay, now the other thing that we are going to do is this expanded, where is that? On top here, let's have a height also. Okay, here let's put the height. So this one, let's have it something like a 50. Then let's hot reload. Yeah, we have something like that. So now you can see that this is almost the same with this. Okay, great. Now that we have that, let's hot reload, because you can see now the other thing is this word is just doing once and it's stopping. This one is repeating. This one, okay, this one is repeating. So to do that is just to go in our method here, animated text kit. So here, right after this, we want to say something like it's got the function. Let's say is repeating or something. Okay, outside this. Okay, yeah, outside this, we just need to put a comma here. Now you can see that it's got repeat the animation. We are going to use that, and then we are also going to use repeat forever, which is true. Okay, now if we hot reload, let's wait for it. I think let's hot reload like that. Then it's just going to repeat forever. Okay, it's going to do it again, and then it's going to do it again. All right, so that's it for the basic UI. We created this UI like this. The start button, it is going to change. Okay, we're going to change the color when we start playing to, we're going to change the color of this, which that's no big deal. Okay, so thank you guys, and see you in the next video.